Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Ultimate Admiral's Dreadnoughts, and welcome to RAMJB channel again. So yeah, well, yesterday we designed a warship, a battlecruiser, which is going to fight an enemy battleship. Now, I don't know what kind of battleship. I don't know exactly how many guns it's going to have. I don't know. Each time you run a scenario, the ships you find are different because each time you run the scenario, the AI designs its ships. So let's see what we find. Some historical snippets over here. Okay. Ooh, it's a US ship. Damn, these are tough. Okay, start battle. Let's take a look at our foe, which we currently can't. Okay, 8 guns. Actually, seems weapons very similar to ours, even smaller. That might be even 11-inch guns, maybe. Okay, pretty modern superstructures. That means it's going to have a pretty large chance to hit. Okay, so the first thing we did was to fire a ranging shot, which is already in the way and is almost there. So each time you fire on a new target, you fire a ranging shot, and after that you fire for effect. Well, after that, or at least once you have gotten the proper solution, you fire for effect. Now, thankfully, just one shot was enough for us, so next time we fire, it will be our full battery. Let's look at that. See, guns are ready. And also you can see that as soon as they fire, they go low to get reloaded and see our volley going down. No hits, second salvo, I mean, not unexpected. Now, in order to know how much chances you have to hit, you loiter your cursor over the enemy with your ship selected. And you can see on the left side all the bonuses and penalties that go to calculate chances to hit. Also, you will have a rough estimate of the chance to hit of each gun, currently 1.5%, and the chance of hit of any of the guns of a given salvo. Currently, we are firing 8 guns, so we have an cumulative 11% chance of getting a hit, which, by the way, we just did. Um, didn't do a lot, mid-bed Palsian penetration, very slight damage, but it's okay. We are fighting high explosive as well from very long range, which makes sense. We don't know the details of the enemy yet. We will after this identifier progression percentage goes to 100%. We will see the kind of guns it has, the estimated armor it has, the estimated speed it has, etc., etc. But currently we don't know. So to be safe and from this very long range, yeah, high explosive is a reasonable idea. Since he's keeping his range more or less, I'm going to steepen the angle a little bit. Now, yeah, angle, very important thing. World of Warships has done a lot of damage in this sense, not intentionally. I mean, World of Warships is and has never been intended to be a realistic or immersive game. It doesn't try to teach any lessons about historical naval combat. It's an arcade game with arcade game mechanics. One of them, which is the famous or infamous angling mechanics. In history, the last thing you did want to do in the middle of a fight, okay, no hits, but good straddle, was to point your nose at the enemy and park your ship. Why? Let me explain you in detail. First, overbatching mechanics in World of Warships are bullshit. I mean, they are bullshit in the real world. They are a gameplay mechanic from an arcade game in order to bring balance to an arcade game. They are based partially on a real effect of artillery shells and ricochets, which is true that there's a similar effect that is not. Ooh, okay. We just knocked out its fire control. That was super lucky. Wow. talk about 1 in a million shot. Very happy with that. That will reduce drastically his chances to hit. Yeah, well, that totally cut my train of thought. Yeah, well, yeah, overmatching in real life doesn't work like in World Warship. It's a gameplay mechanic, yeah, etc. The most important thing is that why did you want to? I mean, why would you want to park with the nose pointed at the enemy? You would be cutting your chances to fire with your rear battery. Well, that doesn't matter because whatever, I mean, you are going to get hit with your main battery. Let me illustrate this very easily with this game. You can see the chances to hit with any of my salvos right now. They are at 45.7%, based on the fact that I'm firing 8 guns. It was if I was firing 4 guns, I would have a 24 chance to hit only. I mean, right now I have a 50% chance that one of these cells actually hits something. Didn't happen, but it's a 50-50. If I was only shooting with half of your battery, I only would have a 25% chance. Do you think that's good? No, I don't think either. The second thing, if I put this over the enemy, you will see in the list of penalties on the left side that one of them says target slow speed. Actually, the faster the target is, the bigger the penalty you get. The slower it goes, the bigger the bonus you get. If the enemy just stays there and doesn't move, that's a huge increase on your chances to hit. So if you park bow onto the enemy and you park there, or you start reversing at 3 knots, what you are doing is to give the enemy a massively good time at the time of hitting you, while you are shooting yourself in the foot because you are not doing that with your rear turrets. Okay, he got a pretty lucky hit as well. Lower side of the extended belt. Thankfully, no flooding. That's good. He caused a fire, but not a big deal. Okay, shots are going, shots are coming, and again, no hits. Okay, how our hit chances? 66% per volley. The problem is, I'm going to assume he has very good accuracy as well. So the same that I'm increasing my accuracy, he's increasing his. But he has a disabled fire control center. So probably his chances to hit are going to be lesser than mine. So I got hit again? Really? Oh, that probably is an extension of the fire from one compartment to another. Unlucky because I do have standard bullheads, but whatever. Didn't do much. Very easily contained. Okay, chances to hit at 68%, identifying at 96%. Okay, well, our secondaries are firing. Enemies still firing high explosive, by the way, which surprises me quite a little bit because we are doing with auto mode and the AI is shooting armor penetration. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have an ID. Let's see if we hit. Well, actually we did. Secondary tower, good. Okay, let's stop a little bit here. The enemy has an estimated of top speed 15 knots only. Wow, that's slow. Okay, he has a lot more guns than I thought he had. So these wing turrets are also, ooh. So he has a very, wow, 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 wow. So he has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 turrets on the broadside, but they are firing 9 inch. I mean, we are pretty, no shit, he's fighting high explosive. I already thought these turrets look very small, but this is small. I mean, wow, wow. I mean, yeah, this is not a really good ship. Not at all. Very slow. Lots of guns, but yeah, look at that. I mean, armor penetration. 19.4. If you remember, our ship, let's go here, we did have roughly around 10.7, more or less, around 20 inches of equivalent side armor. This guy can't penetrate me even at 1000 meters. Wow, let's move in. This is going to be a field day. Come on. Of course, his volume of fire is much higher, but he's going to be shooting high explosive, which is going to do a lot less damage on me than my AP is going to do on him when we are within a reasonable range. Also, wow, right now, I mean, he has the equivalent to 18.6 inches of side armor, which we can pen from roughly, wow, 10,000 meters. I mean, we actually can get pens already on the Citadel. Not very likely, because right now our pen values is, our actual pen value is second row on that pop-up, you can see it. On the vertical protection is 19 inches, more or less. The thickest armor of the enemy, which I'm guessing is the main belt, is 21.3 inches. So, yeah, we are not there yet, but soon we will be. Soon we are going to be able to penetrate that armor. Also, you can see that angles are considered. You can see the side deck angles and the chance of a ricochet because of the angling, which is 22%. Okay, we got a flooding on the nose. Good. Okay, so this is going to be easy. I'm going to make mincemeat of this guy. I'm going to eat him alive. I mean, sure, yeah, well, he will get some hits, but again, I'm safe from him. He's not from me. So yeah, moving in until that value is equal or higher than 21.3, and then we will level and yeah, shoot him to Kingdom Come. Our secondaries are fighting. Yeah, that's another whole different thing, which is going now at the nice hit at the forums. People are complaining that secondaries don't hit enough, that they aren't accurate enough. Now, if you know something about light cells, heavy cells, and ballistics, you know that heavy cells keep their energy much better at any given moment. Why? Because they are heavier and because they punch through the air with much more ease. Um, as a result, well, first of all, with equivalent muzzle velocities, a lighter gun will reach much shorter ranges than a heavier gun, and it will be a lot less accurate at long range because of dispersion. Uh, okay, nice hit. Wow, I'm going to totally destroy this guy. This is not going to be even a competition. So yeah, people are complaining that secondaries are not useful because, well, they don't hit enough. Well, no. I mean, historically, secondary guns didn't hit a lot on a per gun basis. You can see right now that, for instance, right now we have a 1% chance of hitting per each gun. But we are firing each of those guns roughly 4 times as quick as our main battery. So it's a matter of volume of fire. You get lesser chances per shot, but you get a lot more chances because you shoot more bullets down the range. That on one side. On the other side, well, one of the main reasons why secondaries were really, really useful during those. Okay, we are almost there. 21%, 21.4. I'm going to, well, actually, I'm going to go parallel because this range is enough. Yeah, well, another of the big reasons why you would mount a secondary battery in a battleship is because it allows you to engage one enemy with your main guns and a secondary with your other guns. Ooh, that hurts. Completely flooded the bow as well. Ooh, this guy is hurting. Um, yeah. So yeah, you can do that in the game. In this game, the weapons are linked. Not only that, if I choose here, right now it's in auto, the AI is choosing my um, projectiles for me, which I'm okay, because it usually does a very good job with it. But if I go and tell him, go and shoot only AP, well, suddenly the secondaries are only going to shoot AP as well. If I go with high T, ooh, that was a nasty hit. So now his conning tower as well is destroyed. So yeah, what I'm saying here is that yeah, AP is not going to do a lot, right? So unless you go with auto, and with auto mode, really you can't control your whatever. There are certain times when you want to be fighting high explosive. Okay, we got hit, small fire, no big thing. Yeah, so that control is limited. Also, again, weapons are linked. Right now, if I had a destroyer here, I wouldn't be able to fire to this guy with these big guns, while shoot a small gun with the secondaries, which of course limits a lot of the usefulness of having a secondary battery. Finally, there's no bonus or minus or whatever for the effect of being under heavy fire. You can see there's no morals penalties there because that ship is under fire. And as you can understand, it's much easier to okay, we got hit on the funnel, no big deal. Um, as you can understand, it's much harder to fight in the middle of the battle when the enemy is fighting at you than in the middle of a training exercise when no one is shooting at you. So the suppression effect that the secondary guns had on the destroyers is not there. Okay, so yeah, it should be there, but it's not yet. All those things, I'm sure they are going to be at the game at one moment or another. Right now, they are not, but they will be sooner or later. So the solution to the problem that the secondary guns are underwhelming currently, because they are, I'm not going to lie, is a fact, is what it is not to increase or buff or balance the weapon by increasing the accuracy. It's by giving the weapons the traits they historically had, which is actually what this game intends to do anyway. So yeah, there's that. Little explanation here for those who have seen in the forum those discussions, and even so for those who don't know, because really secondary batteries were really inaccurate, even after receiving fire control systems. Because at this point, I mean, in very early ages of the big gun era, up to the mid 30s or late 30s, actually the secondary guns were local controlled. I mean, the guys in the turrets were doing the firing and the aiming and everything. Central control for them didn't happen until much later. Okay, this guy is getting a lot more angle than I like. You can see ricochet chance 31%, and also as he's slightly inclined, his effective belt is his effective protection is more than I would like. So what I'm going to do is to do a steep course reversal. I'm going to go right the other way. We are not going to be able to shoot while we do it. Actually, what I'm going to do is in a much more gentle manner, because otherwise our guns are going to lose track of the enemy. They don't have very good traverse, and as you can see, right now we are not fighting because we don't have the traverse to track. Oh well, shit happens. Yeah, secondary guns didn't have centralized fire control until the mid 30s, and even then, again, you can't go against the nature of your cell. If your cell is going to disperse a lot at long range because it's very light, it's going to be very light, and it's going to disperse no matter what fire control system you are using. So the chances to hit with your main battery were always going to be higher than with your secondary battery. Always. Doesn't mean that you wanted to waste shots on a destroyer with a 15-inch gun when you have 6-inch guns to do the job, right? First, because the ammo count for the big guns is much more limited than for the secondaries. And second, because there was and there is a thing called barrel wear. Big guns had an estimate average life of from 100 to 300 shots, depends on the gun model, um, before they needed a complete relining of the barrel or a complete change of the barrel, which wasn't cheap at all. So yeah, would you be firing at something you could be dealing with your secondary, with your main guns, knowing that after 100 shots or 300 shots or 5, whatever number of shots, but a lot less, you are going to spend a lot of time a lot of time, a moderate amount of time in the shipyard receiving new guns, which cost a fortune. Yeah, I mean, doesn't make much sense, right? Okay, we are coming to our new course. this is going to reduce the apparent angle, and again, you can see our penetration has gone up because the relative angle is less. You can see angle works. Angle really works. It increases your relative um, and your effective armor. But what doesn't work is to do the stupid things that, I mean, stupid historically speaking. In game, in an arcade game, they make sense as angling in world warships. Okay, our turrets are still traversing. By the way, you can see this is cool. This gun can traverse 360 because it has a space. The guns that have a space, enough space to do it, yeah, they do it. So that's actually pretty cool to see. Okay, we're almost there. Chances to hit, wow, almost 80% per shot. Okay. Okay, we got hit on the okay. At this range, it really doesn't matter. Look at that! Look at that! Boom! There goes his engine. Big flotation damage on the mid sections. Good. He repaired the flooding on the front, by the way. Okay, all we have to do is to keep more or less this range. And I'm not going to do any course inversion. If our range, our angle becomes too steep again, what I'm going to do is to fire high explosive. And there you can see how it works as well. Because high explosive does damage. And does some pretty significant damage. Not by far as much as penetration, but well, I mean, if you hit an unprotected area with high explosive, well, the structure is going to suffer it. That's for sure. Okay. Also, we can time compress. Ooh, we got an unlucky flooding there. Here. Well, we should be able to repair that. No big deal. It's on the extended belt area, so again, yeah. We are still immune to their penetration to the main areas, while he is clearly not. Wow, he repaired most of his flooding already. He must have really, really good anti-flooding equipment. Okay, let's accelerate it again. Okay, main guns ready to fire. Bomb. Oh, come on, that was unlucky. No penetrations. I mean, it's chance-based. That that we have a mean penetration of 24 inches doesn't mean that every cell is going to go through 24 inches. But yeah, I mean, he just he's not going to do a lot to us, while we are going to do a lot on him. Okay, chances to hit, 43%, good. 43%. Okay, next volley. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm going to shoot a little bit of high explosive. I mean, the angle is not that ridiculous, but again, probably because we are increasing the range, our capability to penetrate is... Well, no, it's okay. No, 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 I'm going to fire high AP. Forget about that. Okay? If we don't hit, it doesn't help, really. Auto. Really, I'm getting unlucky here because we have a 98% chance to hit with something, but we didn't. Okay? Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Hit on the rear, the roof is damaged. Good. Let's keep it up. Next volley. I mean, I usually wouldn't go this fast if the enemy had reasonable guns, but against this, oh come on, this is Gruyere cheese. Destroy the main control turret, okay. You can see his chances to hit currently per gun are around 5%. Mine, per gun. We are sitting at 44%. Yeah, if you destroy the controls structures of the enemy and the conning tower and the fire control damage, and you make a lot of flooding damage, it becomes unstable. You get penalties for damage. So yeah, I mean this guy is pretty much effed up. By the way, he has pretty big secondaries as well, 7 inches. Holy shit. Okay, no luck on those. A hit on that, but a ricochet. Penetration on the extended belt and a mid-deck penetration, but not a lot of damage. His floating is getting worse. No, I like to see that. Let's keep it up. Now, if at any time he's circling around me, as I'm circling around him, so we are keeping more or less a good angle towards the enemy. If flooding, well, belt extended penetration, it happens again. We don't have that much extended belt, but this is much worse because an engine, that means that we penetrated his vital areas. Look at that. I mean, he's down to 42% floatability, and he's flooding in this compartment as well. He also had an engine damaged, and the steering is damaged. Good. Okay. Next shot. There we go. Oh, there goes another engine. Okay, this guy is done. Okay, this guy is done. The whole waterline is open to floodings. He's going to sink. Yeah, he's going to. By the way, did we get an ammo explosion or something like that? Yeah, ammo detonation. Wow, lucky he didn't blow up. But look at all those fires. Wow. This guy is going down. And down he goes. Sadly, as the scenario ends, well, we don't actually see the ship sinking. But it's pretty cool, so to see them doing so. Anyway, well, I mean, that battleship was a little bit underwhelming. Yeah. I mean, it's what I tell you. Each time you run this mission, you are going to find something different. I have been forced to fight versus enemies with 10, 13-inch guns, which is the maximum for this scenario, um, against me. And at the time, I think I was with a battlecruiser with 11-inch guns. Well, that guy really whooped the floor with my ass, pretty much. He destroyed me. This one, really, I got lucky. I got a pretty underwhelming design from the AI, but hey, you never know what you are going to find, and this is what it makes these scenarios fun. And also replayable, because there are only 30 of them, 29. Also, you have the custom battles, but yeah, well, in order to replay the scenarios, it's always nice to have different ships each time you try them out. So yeah, well, this was our battle in this scenario with the battleship we designed in our first video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did so, well, if you like what I do, really, you will subscribe anyway. But yeah, I'm a YouTuber, how to say it. Yes, please subscribe, click the bell, blah, 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 yada, whatever. Yeah, all that stuff. It helps me out a lot. Also, like, subscribe, etc. Yeah, all that stuff you would do anyway. If you really like what I do, well, do it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and see you later.